I know I threw a lot at you. That's why I'm so glad we're recording this. But if there's anything that I can help you with, feel free to ask any questions that you have.
All right. Well, thank you. The first thing I just wanted to ask was, could you just explain, so what's the next steps for folks like for Beaver County Christian School now? I know that you had mentioned before how we're kind of a year out right now from having this program.
Well, you're a year out for Penn Gift to be able to give you much help with the SPEs, and the one that you want most is your K-12, and that's where we have been committed. We gave out $450,000 worth of tax credits in 2021, and our policy is to let the people who gave in 2021 give again in 2022. So we're expecting that probably 95% of those people will do it again. So that's why Penn Gift cannot give you a lot of SPE help in 2022. However, I would recommend that if you have people that are interested in helping, that they file online. I will also tell you that the chances of your being approved by the DCED doing it online, unless the legislature puts more money in it, is probably somewhere between 10 and 15% chance that you'll get approved. So, but some people do. I've had people who have applied for years and didn't get approved. And last year, the legislature, in their wisdom, put another $40 million into the K-12 program. And I got three people approved that had been trying for years and weren't. So it's worth doing. The worst that can happen is you don't get approved. It doesn't cost you anything except, the time that you put into it. So there is that possibility. And so I would recommend that if you have donors who are interested, do the online. But keep in mind that the percentage or opportunity that you're going to get approved is not going to be very high.
Okay.
David, can I ask him a question?
Sure.
So Jerry, I have a couple questions. One would be to in regards to our employees and anybody that gets a W-2. So we get paid throughout the year, and they withhold the tax. So ADP, in our case, withholds the tax and then pays it on our behalf to the state. How does that work if we want to slide into this, because we don't want to be paying double? And the other angle is self-employed people. So several of us have our own business and we have to pay state taxes quarterly. And so when you're on a roll paying quarterly because you have the last 20 years, they expect you to keep paying quarterly. And so how do you let the state know that you're paying this way instead? Or how does that work for unemployed people?
Well, for the people that don't have their own business, what you do is you file your taxes at the beginning of every year. You have until April 15th to do that. And if you had given the year before to the scholarship program at Beaver County, you would have the proof that you did that from us. And that would either be a letter if you did it online, or it will be a K-1 if you did it through an SPE. But either of those suffices with the Department of Revenue. And when you file your taxes in the early in the next year, you or your accountant files that paperwork as a part of that. And if you did not owe any money because you were an employee who got a regular paycheck, you get a tax refund. And if you file it online and you give them your checking account, they will make a direct deposit into your checking account. If you didn't do that, then they will provide you with a check. And I cannot tell you how long you have to wait to do that. Some people get it within a month or two. Some people have had to wait 3 or 4 months to get that refund. If you file, if you're a business and you're filing quarterly, I think it works the same way, although you're not the first person to ask me this question, but I'm not sure of the answer that I want to give you, because I think what it is that you will have to wait until you've been approved to get the tax credit. And you may be able to do that. If you gave it in the early part of the year, can you get it when you file your second quarterly? I don't know the answer to that. You ask your accountant, because it would seem to me that you had paid the tax already if you file quarterly, and then you would be qualified for that tax credit, because we would get it on your request. We would send you the form that you need, a letter saying, essentially proving that you made the donation. I would ask your accountant that question, because I'm not an accountant. And if your accountant can't give you the answer to that, get back to me and I'll ask our accountants how they handle that. But you don't pay twice. That's the bottom line is you don't pay twice.
Is it safe to say, Jerry, that the idea is just that you have to make the donation early in the year? Basically, it's a donation up front first. It's not like something you can do at the end of the year when you're filing your taxes or beginning for the previous year. So basically, you have to have that cash on hand to donate. You can donate it in January, February, whatever. But then the following year, when you're doing your taxes, that's when you can basically make that claim that you made that donation, and then you get that 90% credit back.
Yeah, the first part of what you said isn't correct.
Okay.
You won't be making the donation early in the year. You cannot apply online until July 1st. So you'd have to wait till July 1st to apply. They don't send out notices that you've been approved until September or October, and sometimes even November. So there's not that big a lapse of time between when you'd make your donation. Let's say you were able to make your donation on October 1st. So you make your donation October 1st, you file your taxes in February. And then from that point on, it's up to the Department of Revenue. So there's a lag, obviously. If you go from October to February, you're talking about a few months there. But it's not as bad as it would be otherwise, because you can't make application until July 1st with online, and you can't make it with us through the SPE process until we get approved, and we don't get approved until that same date that everybody else gets approved, whenever that happens in September, October, November. So it's not that long a wait. I would say probably from start to finish, you're looking at 5 to 6 months, and not much more than that.
So Jerry, can you actually just go back really quickly and explain the difference here? I'm just thinking of an action, like if people on this call are interested in giving, I myself personally am. What is the best step? I know you said there's the online, you can apply online, or we can apply through Penn Gift. Is that correct?
Yeah. And as I said earlier, we have tax credits available in 2022. We're going to have $200,000 of pre-K, which of course you don't have a pre-K, so that you're not going to be interested in that. But we also are going to have at least $500,000 available on OSTC. And as of right now, we have only got commitments from people who can't do it yet, but who tell me that they want to do the 70,000 that they did last year. So we can go higher than 500,000. Any request, any donors that you have for potential donors for OSTC, I can give you a 99% assurance that they will be approved by Penn Gift in 2022.
Okay, so then you're saying so, and we're very interested in that, because we have a lot of families and people from living and residing in failing school districts, and so we'd be interested in that. And I think so you're saying you have up to $500,000, and you.
No, we're going to have at least 500,000. It's going to be more than that, probably. And I think when I was visiting you, I indicated that I'm going to be sending you a letter at the end of March, asking you how much you think you would be able to find donors for. And what I'm going to do is take all the schools, and there's about 50 of you. I'm going to take all the schools that respond to that letter that I send them and add up that total and see if it comes to 700,000. I'll apply for 700,000. And I've been assured by DCED that whatever we apply for up to 750,000, they will approve. So it's almost like whatever you think you can get, you'll be able to get approved for. So, and the beauty of this is too, that you're only asking these people for a 1-year commitment. You know, they're not going to have to do a 2-year commitment like the state requires. So going through SPE for you right now, the best thing for you is to let me know that you want OSTC money and how much you think you can raise. And then when I know that, I'll make sure I apply for enough. I actually can apply for more than 750,000 if my figures are correct, but I'm not sure we're going to get that high. But in any event, I can almost guarantee you that if you come back and say, Jerry, we need $50,000 in OSTC money, it's a snap. I'll have no problem meeting that need for you.
Just to let people know that are listening, this list of low achieving schools for the 21-22 school year includes Beaver Falls, all grades. It also includes Aliquippa, Newcastle Area School District, Ambridge Elementary, and Rochester High School.
That's a lot. That's
big-
a lot. Are they
The
all
Beaver
close to you?
Falls, the Beaver
they-
Falls is the biggest.
Are they all close to you where you do get a lot of those students?
Beaver Falls mostly.
And do you know how many OST qualified students you would have? Ballpark?
Maybe 75.
Oh, that's quite a few.
100.
Yeah, and not all of them would qualify for scholarship money, obviously, if they're fairly well-to-do. There are income limits that your parents have to fall under, but they're pretty generous. The state allows
Very
you to,
generous.
yeah, it's 97,000 for a family, and then 17,000 plus for every dependent child in the family. So a family of four can make $130,000 and still qualify to get OST scholarship money if you raise the money. And that's the key. The school has to find the donors to give. But as I indicated earlier, because of the large amount that I can request, up to 750,000, I think we can meet any request that you make. And by the way, since you're going to be asking your donors to give to OSTC, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, I didn't want to give it only to the students from the underperforming schools. I wanted to give it to some of my neighbors. I wanted some of my neighbors' kids to benefit from it, whatever." It's a one-year commitment. And the problem that they would have right now is that since we don't have any of those K-12 tax credits to give you, OSTC is the only place you can go to get the tax credits for your donors. And your donors can continue to give the OSTC year after year through Penn Gift, because our policy is to always let you have next year what you gave last year. So that it can build your base is what I'm saying, I guess. And next year, this year I have to limit myself to the 450,000 that we got, but next year I'm going to double it. I'm going to apply for 900,000. So that's going to free up another $450,000 in K-12 that you will already have talked to people about, and they may be interested at that point. So this is an opportunity for you folks and I won't say it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it is an opportunity to get on the ground floor of what Penn Gift is making available. Because let's say next year you say, well, we don't really want that K-12 money. And then 2 years later you say, well, we do. I may already be obligated to give it to the people who gave the year before.
All right, Jerry. So here's what I've created. So I'm thinking of the people on this line who are interested. So I'm going to send out a survey, a Google form survey, with people who are interested in contributing. Now, this year, I'm going to say it's only for the OSTC, which is for monies for students who are residing in failing districts, but we have a lot of students from those areas. So I'm going to send out a survey and say if you're interested, and then if you're interested in giving and how much you anticipate you might give.
Yeah,
now,
make sure you explain to them that they can't give more than they pay in the taxes.
Yeah.
So we're talking, for most people, we're talking about Pennsylvania personal income tax. Now, if it's a business, they do pay other taxes. And I can share with you a list of what those other taxes are. But individuals pretty much only pay the Pennsylvania personal income tax that they can use for this.
So what they will do then is check on their W-2 from the previous year and see how much do we pay in state tax, and if they're interested in donating up to that much or less than, but a minimum of 500, correct?
Correct.
Then what we'll do is add up our base of saying, well, we have 25 donors that are going to give at least $2,000 each or something, and then we'll tell you, hey, we think we could raise at least, $50,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do.
Okay.
And I think you'll find that it may take some more explaining, but that's, you can show them this Zoom recording. And also, if you really have somebody who really just, doesn't want to believe a Zoom or doesn't want to believe you, just ask them to if they mind me giving them a call.